My name is Anica Earnest, E-A-R-N-E-S-T. I went to school at Perry Joint High School. I went to New Bloomfield Elementary School, and I graduated from West Perry in 1958. I grew up in the town. Our house was beside the bowling alley on South Carlisle Street, and we walked to school. We did not have school buses, and the school was, we were transferred around because they were building the West Perry School at that time, as it is today. We went to the movie theater, which is where the Commissioner's building is now, and we paid, I think, 25 cents for a movie. We would go always on Saturday night, and we'd look forward to what was coming, the coming attractions the next week. They no longer have the movie theater there. Since it's been a grocery store, and now it's been the Commissioner's office building. The name of my church at the present time is the New Bloomfield United Methodist Church. It's located at 100 West Main Street, New Bloomfield, and it has a cornerstone at the corner of Church and High Streets, and there are 3 dates on that stone. I didn't check with them. This is short notice for me, but 1910, 1933, and another one, I think, 1966. 1910 is when they completed the church, and it was under the leadership of Reverend E.C. Keebach. They were meeting at what is now the New Bloomfield Firehouse, soon to be replaced with a new building, we understand. And it was a half block out West High Street. The church worshiped in the courthouse first of all, first in homes, then in the courthouse courtroom, and then they bought a piece of land and they built the church. It was a little one-story frame church, and I was not alive at the time to know about it, but I've heard all these stories from my parents, my grandparents, and they participated in building the new church at the corner of Church and High Streets. They mixed the mortar and poured the foundation, and they actually, the members of the church, the men, and there was a very strong men's group at the time, the men did the physical work, and they gave their time and their work and some of the materials too. So it was very much their project. They completed it in 1910, and under the leadership of Reverend E.C. Keebach, they marched holding a cross and a candle down the street, High Street, around the bend on Church Street, down to the church and streaming in the doors of the new church. Well, the church was involved in their everyday activities, and people, of course, went to services more than just on Sunday morning, and they joined the committees and the meetings, and it was just a very active time. People seem to have more time to give to the church than they do today. Yeah, it was several generations, and I heard the stories from my grandparents, my parents. Well, the tour that I gave at the time of our centennial celebration for the church was including the markers that are around the town. There are metal markers printed with a little bit of history at various different locations around the town. And so we walked around to the different markers, and we talked about them and how that worked in with the church. The borough history worked in with the church history. And that's as far as I got. Now, as far as being an expert on the history of Perry County, that's a little beyond my reach. There are all these other towns that I'm sure have their own history. Newport, Ickersburg, Landisburg, Louisville, Blaine, Millerstown, all of them, and each one plays a part in the county history.